We have our worked examples, so just slightly different format for this. I'm going to do 1a followed by 2a and then 1b followed by 2b. So you get acquainted with how to use these two different styles, and then we have a bit of repetition. So again, with each of these, what I've done is yellow is the first step, green is the second step, and blue is the third. So when you have a look at this, I've got my fraction, so I do that second because I've got something that's attached to it. So if I've got plus 4 here, how I undo that is I minus 4 from both sides. And here's what I end up with. So I have, oh, sorry, I'll have to fix that a bit later. So 2p over 5 is what I end up with. And then the plus 4 and the minus 4 cancel each other out, and 8 minus 4 gives me 4. The next thing I have is 2p divided by 5. I need to undo that division, which is from the fraction. So I multiply by 5, and what I do to one side, I do the other. Those two cancel out. 2p gives me 4 times 5, which is 20. I now have to undo that that divide by 2. I have to undo that multiply by 2 because 2 multiplied by p is 2p. So what I do to one side, I do the other, and you'll end up with those two cancelling each other out, and 20 divided by 2 gives me 10. Okay, for 2a, here is what you need to think about. If there are multiple terms on the numerator, bracket it. Okay, so bracket the numerator, just add those brackets, which is what I've done in this first line. Next thing, let's have a look at what we need to do. Now that we've bracketed it, that also means if I'm using the reverse of BODMAS, which is Sam Dob, the brackets are last. Okay, so it also helps you prioritize things quite well. So the first thing I need to do is undo my divide by 2. So the way that I do that is I multiply by 2 on both sides. And again, divide by 2 and multiply by 2 will cancel each other out. So I end up just with what's in the brackets here. And I can get rid of the brackets now too. And 6 times 2 gives me 12. Now, from this statement here, so 3y minus 9 equals 12, I have to get rid of the minus 9, okay? And the way that I do that is I add 9 to both sides, because it's a reverse operation. Again, minus 9 plus 9 cancel each other out, so I end up just with 3y, and 12 plus 9 gives me 21. And the next part that I now have is 3y equals 21. So 3y is 3 multiplied by y. So how do I undo 3y? I undo the multiply by 3 by dividing by 3 on both sides. And once I've done that, cancels out, I end up with y, and 21 divided by 3 is 7. So just as we're going up to our next question, your bonus word for today for this video is blue. Your bonus word today for this video is the word blue. Okay, so again, repeating with these ones, similar to the one before, we only have one thing on the numerator, so that's good. We don't have to add any brackets, but I can see that my letter is on the right-hand side. So first thing I'm going to always do is flip my equation to have my pronumeral, which is my letter, on my left-hand side. And again, it's easier if you do it at the start because then you don't have to worry about it a bit later. Now that we've done that, let's have a look at what we have. I have minus 11. Again, the fraction I can't do anything with yet because it's not by itself. So I undo the minus 11, which is what I've done here, and I add 11 to both sides. And what I end up with, these two cancel each other out. 11 plus 1 gives me 12. So I end up with 6c over 4, giving me 12. The next thing I have to undo is this divide by 4, or the fraction. So I multiply by 4, and then what I do to one side, I do the other. Those two cancel each other out. I end up with 6c equaling 48. Next thing, I need to undo this 6 in front of the c. So remember, 6c means 6 multiplied by c. So I divide by 6 on both sides to end up with my answer of c equals 8. Okay, last one. Again, have a look at the numerator. I've got more than one term, so I'm going to immediately bracket it, which is what I've done in this first line here. And then I've divided by 5. So there's nothing added on to this. So the first thing I can do is undo this division, undo this and make it and take away that fraction essentially. So if I'm undoing divide, I multiply by both sides. Once I do all that, I end up with 8s plus 17 equals 25. And so basically what's just on the numerator. So once I've done that, I now have to get rid of my 17. So I undo it by minusing 17 from both sides. And I end up with those two cancelling each other out. 8s equaling 8. Very nice number. And then remember 8s is the same as 8 multiplied by s. So I have to divide by 8 on both sides to end up with my answer of s equals 1. On to your questions.